Imagine a queen so captivated by tales of a king's wisdom that she traveled hundreds of miles across deserts and mountains to see him with her own eyes, a journey that would later birth a whole generation. This was no ordinary queen, and he was no ordinary king. The Queen of Sheba, whose beauty, intelligence, and power were legendary all across the world, embarked on an extraordinary journey to the heart of ancient Israel to meet the mighty King Solomon, a man celebrated not only for his wealth and power, but for his unparalleled wisdom. And what happened next has fueled the imaginations of writers, historians, and storytellers for centuries. Was it a mere meeting of minds, or did something deeper bloom between these two enigmatic leaders? In this video, we'll unravel the mystery of one of history's most intriguing relationships. We'll dive deep into the biblical texts that recount their meeting, explore Ethiopian and Islamic traditions that add layers to their story, and examine the cultural impact of their historic encounter. And by the end of this video, you might just find yourself wondering whether their story was meant to be a legend or something far more profound. Stay tuned as we take you through this interesting journey. But before we begin, I would like to welcome you to our newly created channel. We're thrilled to have you join us on this incredible journey. Here you'll find captivating and enriching content and stories, crafted with love and dedication just for you. We want you to feel right at home and enjoy every moment with us. To help us grow and continue bringing you top-quality videos, we ask that you please hit that subscribe button, so together we can build a large community for Christ, and that would go a long way toward growing our little community. God bless you as you do. Now let's dive right in. The story of the Queen of Sheba begins far from Israel, in the powerful and prosperous kingdom of present-day Ethiopia. Known for its wealth, Sheba was a center of trade and commerce, especially in spices, incense, gold, and precious stones. Ruling over this magnificent land was a queen whose fame spread far and wide, but it wasn't just her wealth or her beauty that captured the attention of her subjects and foreign dignitaries. It was her intelligence and curiosity. When rumors reached her court of a king in Israel whose wisdom surpassed that of any other, she was intrigued. This king, Solomon, had reputedly built a stunning kingdom, and stories of his unparalleled knowledge and understanding reached even the furthest corners of the ancient world. But the Queen of Sheba was skeptical. Could anyone truly be as wise as the stories claimed? There was only one way to find out. She would go herself and test this man called Solomon. Her journey was not an easy one. Ancient records suggest a journey that could have spanned weeks, if not months. She traveled with a caravan laden with spices, gold, and other lavish gifts, as was the custom when approaching a king, traveling through the hot desert with the sun blazing down as they traveled day after day, night after night. Finally, the queen and her caravan arrived in Jerusalem, a city buzzing with anticipation. According to the Bible, in 1 Kings 10:1-13 and 2 Chronicles 9:1-12, the Queen of Sheba didn't simply wish to pay her respects. She came to test Solomon with hard questions. Scholars believe these questions weren't merely riddles, but deep philosophical inquiries about life, governance, and perhaps even theology. The Bible says she was overwhelmed by Solomon's wisdom and the grandeur of his court, describing her astonishment at the organization of his servants, the richness of his palace, and the offerings at the temple he built. Imagine the scene. Solomon, known for his intellect and wisdom, meets this foreign queen, who is as intelligent and curious as he is. They likely spoke for hours. Each question she posed a puzzle for Solomon to solve, each answer he gave sparking another inquiry. It's easy to see why their encounter became legendary, a meeting not just of royalty, but of two keen minds. But what did these questions consist of? Some say she asked him about the nature of life and death, good and evil, the mysteries of the universe, and even the nature of God. Solomon's answers, given with patience and insight, amazed her. For each question, he offered not only an answer, but a glimpse into a perspective she may never have considered. In him, she found not just a ruler, but a teacher, someone who, like her, sought to understand the deeper truths of life. As the biblical account goes, the Queen of Sheba brought gifts for Solomon that were as grand as her reputation: gold, spices, and precious stones, treasures that her kingdom was famous for. In return, Solomon shared gifts of equal splendor with her, along with the wisdom that had first attracted her. This exchange wasn't just about wealth, it symbolized the blending of two cultures, a powerful moment of diplomacy and mutual respect between two kingdoms. The meeting between Solomon and the Queen of Sheba is sometimes seen as one of the earliest examples of international diplomacy. They came from two different worlds, one a prosperous kingdom in the south, the other an empire under God's covenant in Israel. Their interaction marked a bridge between cultures, a recognition of shared human experiences, ambitions, and knowledge. The story of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba takes a fascinating turn in Ethiopian tradition, where their relationship is far more than just a meeting of minds. The Ethiopian account, found in the Kebra Nagast, which means the glory of kings, recounts that Solomon and the Queen, known in Ethiopia as Makeda, were romantically involved. According to this tale, the Queen of Sheba bore Solomon a son named Menelik I, who would become the first emperor of Ethiopia and the founder of the Solomonic dynasty, which claimed descent from King Solomon himself. The Kebra Nagast tells how, before departing from Jerusalem, the Queen of Sheba was given a feast by Solomon. It's said that he requested she take nothing of his without permission, to which she agreed. However, Solomon cleverly placed spicy dishes before her, causing her to drink water from his court in the middle of the night. When he confronted her about it, they shared a moment that led to their intimacy. She would later return to her kingdom, pregnant with Solomon's child. This child, Menelik, would eventually travel to Jerusalem to meet his father. According to Ethiopian legend, when Menelik returned to Ethiopia, he took with him the Ark of the Covenant, a sacred relic that many Ethiopians believe remains in Ethiopia to this day. This powerful story has bound the Ethiopian people to a spiritual lineage that connects them to ancient Israel, giving the Ethiopian Orthodox Church a unique place among the Christian traditions. In Islamic tradition, the Queen of Sheba is known as Bilqis. The Quran also recounts her visit to Solomon, although the focus is on her conversion to monotheism. In Surah An-Naml 27:20-44, Solomon learns of her kingdom through a hoopoe bird, who informs him that Bilqis and her people worship the sun instead of Allah. Solomon, who is portrayed as both a prophet and king, invites her to his court to embrace the worship of one God. The Quranic account tells of Solomon's wisdom in testing her before her arrival. He has her throne transported to his court and alters it slightly to see if she recognizes it, a sign of her intelligence. Upon arrival, Bilqis is overwhelmed by Solomon's wisdom and the miracles she witnesses, including the way Solomon commands creatures of all kinds. The encounter ends with her accepting Solomon's faith, symbolizing her transformation from a pagan queen to a believer in the one true God. In the Islamic tradition, there is no romantic implication between Solomon and Bilqis, yet the story is equally powerful. It highlights themes of wisdom, faith, and the idea that knowledge of God can transcend cultural and geographic boundaries. The story of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba has always intrigued scholars and storytellers, partly because it's unclear whether their relationship was purely intellectual or if it included romance. While the biblical account leaves their relationship open to interpretation, later traditions, especially Ethiopian, depict a more intimate connection. Some historians believe that their relationship, whether romantic or not, symbolizes the harmony that can be achieved between different nations and religions. Solomon and the Queen of Sheba represent wisdom and wealth, curiosity and knowledge, coming together across borders. Their meeting could be seen as a testament to the idea that true wisdom knows no boundaries. In the Ethiopian tradition, the possibility of a romantic relationship speaks to the blending of bloodlines and the importance of shared heritage. By tracing their lineage to Solomon, Ethiopians have developed a unique identity that connects them to a broader spiritual history, one that reaches back to the biblical narratives. The story of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba has endured not just as a piece of history or a religious tale, but as a cultural myth that transcends time and place. In Ethiopia, the Solomonic dynasty that claimed lineage from their union lasted for centuries, with Emperor Haile Selassie as its final ruler, who reigned until 1974. The legacy of Menelik I as the son of Solomon and Sheba became an integral part of Ethiopia's national and religious identity, shaping the beliefs and values of the Ethiopian people. In literature and art, their story has inspired countless works. From poems and paintings to operas and films, the enigmatic nature of their relationship continues to fascinate artists and audiences. The tale has also served as a symbol of diplomatic relations and cultural exchanges, emphasizing the potential for understanding and respect between different peoples. The symbolism of their union, whether romantic or intellectual, offers a powerful reminder of the ways that human beings from different backgrounds can connect through shared wisdom, curiosity, and respect. The journey of the Queen of Sheba to Solomon's court remains one of the most enduring tales of human connection and the search for truth. The story of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba is more than an ancient tale. It's a reflection of human qualities and values that remain relevant. In a world where divisions based on culture, religion, and nationality still exist, their story serves as a reminder of the power of open-mindedness, curiosity, and mutual respect. Here are some timeless lessons we can draw from their legendary encounter. First is the power of curiosity and wisdom. The Queen of Sheba didn't settle for second-hand information or hearsay. She sought out the truth herself. This curiosity led her to undertake a challenging journey, one that took her into unknown territory. Her willingness to seek wisdom and Solomon's openness to share his knowledge demonstrate the power of curiosity in bridging gaps between people. Curiosity drives understanding, and when combined with wisdom, it becomes a powerful tool for growth and self-improvement. Second is mutual respect, as the foundation of diplomacy. The interaction between Solomon and the Queen of Sheba is one of diplomacy and respect. She came with questions, gifts, and an open mind, while Solomon welcomed her with hospitality and patience. Their story reminds us that diplomacy and understanding require mutual respect. In times of conflict or difference, approaching others with respect and a willingness to listen can lead to positive outcomes and strengthened bonds. Third is the importance of cultural exchange. Their exchange of gifts, gold, spices, precious stones, and knowledge symbolizes the beauty of cultural exchange. Each brought something unique from their homeland, enriching each other's lives and the relationship between their nations. Today, cultural exchange continues to be essential in fostering understanding and unity in our globalized world. By sharing knowledge, traditions, and values, people can bridge gaps and celebrate diversity, much like Solomon and the Queen did. Fourth is spirituality and the quest for deeper meaning. In every version of their story, whether Jewish, Christian, Ethiopian, or Islamic, there is an underlying theme of spirituality. The Queen of Sheba's encounter with Solomon was as much a search for divine wisdom as it was a diplomatic visit. In the Ethiopian and Islamic traditions, her journey leads her to embrace a deeper understanding of God and faith. This journey toward spiritual truth speaks to the human longing for meaning and connection with something greater than oneself, a quest that continues to resonate with people today. And fifth is the legacy of lineage and identity. For the Ethiopian people, the story of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba has provided a powerful source of identity. Through Menelik I, they claim a connection to the House of David, creating a lineage that has shaped Ethiopia's national and religious identity for centuries. This sense of shared heritage can be empowering, creating bonds within communities that foster pride, purpose, and a sense of belonging. Their story encourages us to honor our histories, whether they are personal, familial, or cultural, as they help shape who we are. Despite the depth of their story, much about the relationship between Solomon and the Queen of Sheba remains a mystery. The biblical account is brief, giving rise to many interpretations and speculations. Were they truly romantically involved, as the Ethiopian tradition suggests, or was it a purely intellectual and spiritual encounter? Did Menelik I, the supposed son of Solomon and the Queen, really bring the Ark of the Covenant to Ethiopia? Some historians believe that the Queen of Sheba's story may have been influenced by political motives in Ethiopia, a means of legitimizing their rulers by linking them to a biblical king. Others view the story as a myth that reflects the aspirations and values of the cultures that embraced it. The mystery of the Ark's whereabouts also continues to fascinate historians, with many believing it lies in Aksum, Ethiopia, safeguarded by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. These unanswered questions continue to spark curiosity, keeping the story of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba alive. Historians, archaeologists, and religious scholars continue to seek evidence that could offer more clarity, while artists and writers find inspiration in the story's mystery and depth. The relationship between Solomon and the Queen of Sheba has not only shaped religious and cultural traditions, but has also left a lasting mark on popular culture. Their story has been adapted into various forms of art, including literature, film, and music. Each retelling brings a new interpretation, emphasizing different aspects of their encounter. In literature, authors from all over the world have drawn upon their story. From the poetry of ancient writers to novels that reimagine their romance, the Queen of Sheba is often portrayed as a strong, wise, and alluring figure who challenges Solomon. In films and plays, directors have added elements of drama and romance, exploring themes of love, wisdom, and power dynamics between rulers. The story has also influenced music, inspiring operas and songs that celebrate the enigmatic bond between these two legendary figures. Their influence can even be seen in visual arts. Renaissance and Baroque painters like Rembrandt and Rubens depicted the Queen of Sheba's visit, focusing on the grandeur and mystery of their meeting. In Ethiopian art, Solomon and Sheba are often portrayed together, symbolizing the unity and heritage of the Ethiopian people. The tale's adaptability across different cultures and media highlights its universal appeal. Solomon and the Queen of Sheba's story isn't bound by time or place. It transcends cultural boundaries, allowing each generation to find meaning in it. Ultimately, the relationship between Solomon and the Queen of Sheba remains a symbol of unity and understanding. It's a reminder that people from different backgrounds can come together, exchange ideas, and learn from one another. Solomon and Sheba each brought their unique perspectives, and together they fostered a relationship based on respect, wisdom, and curiosity. Their story encourages us to break down the barriers that separate us, whether they be cultural, religious, or geographic. It challenges us to approach others with an open heart and mind, to seek wisdom in unfamiliar places, and to recognize the beauty in diversity. In an age where the world is more connected than ever, their story holds an even deeper significance. Just as the Queen of Sheba crossed vast distances to meet Solomon, people today have the opportunity to bridge divides, learn from each other, and create connections that honor our shared humanity.